a gypsy man. And the stories that are coming out of his church, he is our director to not just the Roman nation, but Bulgarians and everywhere that God sends him. He's a genuine apostle.
I was a pastor, and I was pastoring my church for several years. And I got exhausted of doing so many things consistently and not seeing the results. And I was about to quit being a pastor because I was tired to put my effort into something which has no results. And then I got so much disappointed and so on. When I met History Makers Training, I didn't want to become part of something new because I went through so many conferences and seminars and so on. And I didn't expect much from History Makers Training, but because of a friend of mine who was insisting I must go, that's why because of my friend, I went to History Makers Training without any expectation, just to please my friend. On the second day, I received the key. I found out what was missing all my ministry, not only the ministry, but I found the key which I was missing in my personal life, in my personal development. And the key in History Makers Training was so simple. This key was this. The first thing that really shocked me to History Makers Training was this. I found out it's all about your character, that you have to develop your character. I knew this. So many people were telling me that it's all about your character. But History Makers Training gave me the practical way to develop my character. Practical thing which History Makers gave me. Working in goals, to put my life in achieving goals through frames. The process of achieving my goals to be put in frames. All that I was taught in my life is you gotta follow God, you gotta love God, and all these things. But these practical things which I was missing, these little ingredients which opened my eyes, and I fall in love with History Makers Training. I said to myself, I'm a pastor. When I see the development in my own life, when I see the real results produced by History Makers Training, I need to teach this my people. Since Pastor Derek came in my church and History Makers Training was presented to my church, the size of my church is doubled. From 100, we have 200 people. And
did you hear this, everybody watching Entro? Because people think when I tell these stories that it's too good to be true. It couldn't be true.
What made my church to double in size, and it's not only about the numbers, but here is the main issue. The History Makers Training is developing the gift, the calling of the people, to find the reason why they are alive, to find why God has created us.
Some people think gypsies are the most, it's impossible to reach them. And in reality, it's where Jesus would go first, and what did you see was different? How did you implement History Makers into making history with the gypsy people?
And I was wondering why this revival in my life has a beginning and an end.
Wow.
Now,
revival, beginning and an end. Wow.
What I found out through History Makers Training is this. If you want to make a reformation, a transformation in a society, you got to go among the people and develop themselves and show them the righteousness of God, so that the righteousness of God in this particular society will be replaced by the evil which was existing before this. Also, when we develop projects and social projects which need to be implemented among the society, and this is what we started to do in order to make a reformation, transformation in the gypsy society. We started our first project. This is how we made it. We made it in 5 phases. Because gypsy people here in Bulgaria are very poor. Not only in Bulgaria, but actually that's the reason I wrote the book. My book is called from small to great, and the subtitle is The Untold Story of the Gypsies. The gypsies all over the world are known as very poor, uneducated people, and so on and so on. So this is the challenge that I was facing in my society among the gypsies. Poor people, not educated. So facing this problem and really desiring from God to transform this society, we created a project in 5 stages. Phase one, stage one. In this project, we made a supplement for food. We started to gather money among ourselves, applied for other projects so that we could gain and get money for food. Now, there was a leader and volunteers who would take responsibility of phase one, just thinking of how they can supply food. That's it. Stage two, this food needed to be served to the poor people, to the gypsy people. So we started to serve the food to the gypsy people. When we started to serve the food among the gypsy people, we started to work with them to develop themselves. Not only give them the food, but we started to interact personally with them. So phase two, stage two in our project. When we bring the food, now we want to teach you some lessons in your language, in the way you would accept and receive the knowledge, the way we want to teach you. We started to teach them how they can behave well and the principles of God, the principles of the Bible, which is principle of success. We started to till phase three. With phase three, it was led by another leader who has his own volunteers. So the phase three was dealing with hygiene. We started to explain to the gypsy people how important is the hygiene, because
Wow.
without being clear,
Hygiene.
you can have sicknesses, contagious of all these diseases and so on. And we started to explain this to them. People from my church started to cut their hair free. We supplied for them through this project free social baths. We gave them towels, shampoos, and all these things, and we encouraged them to go and wash themselves. As we
Wow.
showed them an example and was teaching them how to keep a hygiene on a level. Then phase four, we started to look for jobs for them. There was another leader, and this other leader with his own volunteers was looking for jobs. People in our church, they have something need to be done. Somebody need to be chopped with their wood, or somebody makes renovation. Somebody wants to move some things in the house. So they would hire these particular people that were working, so that they would receive work, some kind of work. We started to teach them that nothing is free. You got to work in order to receive. And then phase five, another leader with his own volunteers, not only work, but we were thinking of how we would put them in a regular work so that they could have their monthly payment here in Bulgaria.
Like integrating them into society is what you're saying.
Start to implement into other cities in Bulgaria.
Wow. So you're actually going into other cities.
Right.
Of when properly trained and equipped laborers, who knows what great destiny resides in every individual person. So thank you, Pastor Encho, for being with us. God bless you, sir.
God bless you. Thank you very much for allowing me to be part of this beautiful and challenging and this society called History Maker Society. So proud of being this society.
Hallelujah.